Number 9. This video from 2021 captures a man strolling down the street with his backpack and a man following behind him. Suddenly, the second man lunges at the first man, dragging him down in what looks like an attempted robbery. However, it looks like there's a third man who joins the fight. When I first saw this, I wondered, where did that third man come from? I didn't see him enter the screen. Let's take a closer look. You can see the third figure is helping the man being attacked to fight off his attacker. But where did he come from? As I looked at it and the attacker was scared off, I saw it. The helping figure looks like a shadow figure, and it didn't come from off screen. When the man was safe, it looks like the shadow figure became part of the man, which explains where it came from in the first place. Was the man with the backpack a shapeshifter? Or maybe a skinwalker? Whatever he was, he has a built-in bodyguard. Number 8. Here we have a man doing a little catch-up, I guess, working alone in the office. He hears an alarm go off and isn't sure what would be causing that since he's the only one there. And he gets up to take a look around. Let's back up a little bit and take a look at what's going on with this door in the background. Maybe he's not alone. He does his investigation, doesn't see any sign of anything. The noise of the alarm has stopped, so he's content to return to his seat and continue to get some work done. It isn't long before he hears some strange noises and sees some lights come on in a back room. Once again, he's supposed to be alone. And off he goes for yet another investigation to see if he can determine what's causing these things to happen. Apparently nothing seems to be out of place. Everything seems to be okay. So he leaves the room and he turns out the light. I guess he wasn't alone. The door slams shut and this chair flies across the floor right towards him. And he makes the right decision, which is the decision to leave. Number 7. Here is some footage that captured some cryptid creatures at Yosemite Park. These have been reported to be night crawlers. They walk rather strangely. They almost look like upright walking white tweezers. This is all the reason in the world I need to not walk through this park at night. Number 6. I used to think when people would talk about the idea of living in a matrix, I used to think how silly that was. There are some things that have been caught on camera that may require some further investigation. Let's take a look at some of those. You see a man passing through a turnstile, and very clearly that bar passes directly through his right leg. Let's take a little better look at it, perhaps in a little bit slower motion. We have a fellow diving off the diving board, and he doesn't just crash into the floating device. He passes right through it. So what happens when you put up a gate to keep your dog in a specific room, but you forget to tell him that he can't just walk through it? You may be doing fine, but perhaps the person that you see next to you is skipping through some kind of a matrix loop. What's the best thing to do? That's right, leave. Maybe when you're designing a matrix, one of the hardest things to get right are turnstiles. We have another situation here where the bars of the turnstile just keep passing right through this poor man. Let me know in the comments below if this has ever happened to you. Here's a young man with excellent manners. Realizing he was distracted on his phone and walked right through that pane of glass, he decided to go back and politely wait for them to go by first. The man in black doesn't particularly look totally human, and perhaps walking through things like steel fences is something he's a little bit used to. The lady watching him, however, doesn't seem to have the same ability. This fellow seems at first to walk up to a wall. He's obviously done this kind of thing before, and he knows just to step up and over that glitch in the matrix. Number 5.
Dog, are you seeing this? Bro, my heart just sank.
They sure look like flying saucers to me. And obviously they're extraterrestrial. And they are being escorted by jets. So are they a threat to us, or just passing through? It might not hurt to make friends with the mothership.
Dog, did you just see that? Dude, I got all of that on video.
Number 4. This is an interesting picture working its way around the internet, obviously of a fatal car crash. Once all the police work was done, apparently there is a photographer left behind to take numerous pictures of the scene before the wrecked vehicle is removed. But it looks like the photographer may have picked up something a little more. Is that the victim of the car crash walking away? It would have been nice to have a larger picture, but I doubt very much the photographer was quite expecting to capture this image. Number 3. Time travel isn't possible now. But how about in the future? Are people coming back to visit us? And have they been doing it for a while? Here's some interesting evidence that might say, yes, they have. This was reportedly captured in Russia. How the truck didn't flatten that man, we'll never know. But it does appear that he just kind of popped in from maybe another time zone. This video, reportedly from the 1930s, clearly shows a woman walking down the street, and it would appear she's talking on a cell phone. Of course, not too many cell phones were at people's fingertips back in the 30s. It makes sense that a time traveler would want to stay in communication with the place they were coming from. So perhaps all this stuff around something that looks like a cell phone makes some sense. When Charlie Chaplin's 1928 movie, The Circus, was being premiered, there was some street footage captured as people arrived. And again, here we have a woman walking down the street towards the premiere, and it looks like she's talking on a cell phone. Mike Tyson had a boxing match in 1995. And if you notice in the audience there, it looks like there's someone holding a cell phone. It's kind of the right size and it's the right shape. If it were a video recorder, well, back then they were a little bit large. So maybe this is another time traveler? I guess this kind of thing stands out more in the older pictures, like the 30s, and I believe this was the 40s, because you just don't see very many people hanging out on a corner looking like they're talking on a cell phone. But here we are. And maybe it's just me, but it looks like he's staring up at the camera, just knowing that there's one there. Here we are on a beach. I don't know, maybe the 30s or the 40s, kind of hard to tell. And there's a gentleman in the middle of everything wearing a suit and a tie. And yes, he's holding something in his hands that looks like a small electronic device. Is he texting someone? And we have archaeologists working on a site in China that was supposedly sealed for over 400 years. And yet what do they find? Something that looks like a fairly modern watch. And on the back of it, it even says Swiss. Number 2. What is that walking down the street or crawling down the street? Is it a weasel or rat or some other kind of a rodent? That's obviously no rodent. That's what we would call a shapeshifter. I think I'll stay home now. I have a request for you. Why not like this video and hit that subscribe button? I'll be posting new videos every week or two. Thank you. Number 1.
I've made it to the Library of Tombs.
Franco TV captures a lot of eerie, creepy, and spooky investigations, and this one is no exception.
What the hell? I definitely just hear it.
You can hear that laughter in the background. Makes me wonder what Franco's got himself into. After looking around for a while, it appears that Franco is not the only one in the graveyard at the moment. He can hear people talking, and he picks up the odd word or phrase coming through.
I just heard them say, I just told you no, in Spanish.
Franco's trying really hard not to be seen or heard, and then he comes across this. So, what is going on? It looks like these people are doing some kind of a prayer, maybe an incantation, or a ritual of some kind. Franco says that he'd love to have gotten a better picture, but turning on the light would have given him away. And I think that's wise. I don't think he wants these people to find out that he's watching them. After a while, they move on, perhaps to another tomb to perform some other kind of ritual. I wouldn't be surprised if this shows up as a nightmare tonight.